Yellow. What's up, fellas? I'm talking to you Canadian fellas back home. It's been about 6 months since I seen you, I think. Wait, about 6 months? No, officially 6 months today that I've actually left Canada, come over to New Zealand for this big adventure that I'm going on right now. And absolutely still loving it. And so now I want to show you guys what I've actually been up to, because I haven't just been partying, haven't just been climbing mountains or stuff like that. I've been on a big adventure, learning so many different things, meeting so many different people, and I'm going to talk about it with you guys now today. Let's take a little look-see at what I've been up to. We gotta make ourselves our personal hot tub. So let's talk about how I actually got here. So about June, May, Russell Green, he sent me this link, and I am forever thank you, man. You've sent this to me, and it changed my life. It's a little link to an adventure guide program. Didn't really know too much about it, looked into it and stuff like that. 3 months of just climbing mountains, learning how to become a guide for hiking and rock climbing, outdoor rock climbing, complete next step from indoor. And absolutely from there, couldn't have been happier from that one. Got to go on so many different adventures. Every week we're going on different hikes, different rock climbing trips. We're camping almost every single week, and absolutely love camping. That's one of my styles. That's one of my things I love. Grew up with it. And after that, I just took a road trip from the bottom of the South Island to the top of the North Island. That's right, New Zealand has 2 islands. Who'd have thought it, eh? Didn't even know that when I was doing the research. And the North Island and the South Island are completely different. They're like 2 different countries in one. It's so cool. So did a big road trip from the bottom all the way up to the top, and now I'm living in Rotorua and I'm working. I got myself a job at Off-Road New Zealand and could not be happier. I have one of the best bosses I've ever actually had. Amazing. Some of the best coworkers I've had, and just the amount of stuff we've done is incredible, honestly. So I'm going to go into that more later about what I've learned and such. But first, let's go in and actually talk about what I've been doing here. Let's talk about this 3-month adventure guide program. When I was over here, I didn't really know too much about like taking people on hikes, taking people on rock climbing trips. But by the end of 3 months, I definitely did not see myself taking people on trips to go learn how to rock climb outdoors and actually set up the systems, how to just everything. Honestly, I've never rock climbed except for indoors once or twice, and now I've rock climbed one of the tallest mountains in this country. I was over at Mount Cook, and that is, I think, 2,000 meters high. We didn't do exactly that, but we did one of the mountains in that area there, and that was just one of the adventures. Honestly, every single week we went to something. We did a bunch of 3-day hikes, 4-day hikes, everything on our backs in a big bag, all of our food, cooking equipment, all of our sleeping equipment, everything, tents. It was so crazy cool. And one thing that's awesome in New Zealand that we used a whole bunch is these huts. And in these huts, you just buy this pass and you can go to any of these huts anytime you want. Pretty sweet, except for in the summer. Some of them you have to pay for. They're just like the Great Walk ones. Wait, Great Walk ones. Yeah, so Great Walk, that's something I want to tell you about. So that's one of the premier #1 hikes in the actual area. That's a multi-day. You go on a bunch of mountains and stuff. One of them that we did was the Kepler. And so that one was absolutely incredible to me. So after that, there's nothing like climbing up to the top of a mountain. And so the very top is the summit, basic stuff. And you'd think that would be the most windy part, wind coming from this way, that way. No, it's actually the spot next to it. So you have the highest point, you have the second highest point here. Between the two, that's the saddle. And right there, we crossed over from one peak to another, about 100 meters there, that had 90-kilometer-an-hour wind coming from the one side, 90-mile winds coming from the other side. And you're just standing on this one little point, probably the size of take me, double me. That's the only pathway we had. And if you fall off to the right, it's just a straight slope. You're done. You're dead. Fall off to the left, same thing. Straight slope. You're dead. It was absolutely incredible. Oh my gosh. There's nothing like that feeling of just being up there, big heavy pack on our backs, and just living you feel like you're on top of the world, honestly. Oh, that was one of my favorite moments from that program. That is for sure. And that just on top of meeting 12 different people that through this program I've lived with for 3 months in one house. Actually, we moved to a couple different houses. We went to different campsites and stuff like that. But no matter what, we were all living, eating, cooking, living together, like everything. So one of the fun stories that I had from this actual adventure guide is, so the first week I made it like known that I was kind of like more of a weird guy. I'm Rob Little. I'm not going to change anything about that. I like being that spontaneous weird dude. So we tried to do this culture day. And so at this, we got to feel what it's like to be at a farm in that kind of lifestyle. So we had to feed the sheep. So we all did our thing. We wrestled up some sheep and everything like that at this farm. It was a super fun time, just running around, blah, screaming at the sheep and everything. And then at the very end, everybody's like, oh, sweet, okay, everybody's gone. I'm like, hold on. Can I do something for a second? And so everybody's like, yeah, okay, and stuff like that. So I hop into the sheep shed, or den, and I grab this one sheep, not like force feed or whatever, and I'm like, everybody get behind me. Let's take a selfie. So I have this big cowboy uniform or like farm old uniform on, and I have this big sheep. We take a big selfie. Check it out now. It was so much fun. So big thank you to all the people that are in my program, into the group that I had. We lived together for 3 months. Can you believe it? Looking back at that, there's Kate, Juliana, Tristan, Mitch, everybody. It was just so much fun. But you know, there was a bunch of struggles along the way, like figuring out how to deal with everybody, how to do the cooking and everything like that, because who's cooked for 12 people before? That was really interesting, and huge thank you for you guys to make this program so awesome like it was. So many different funny memories and such like that. Like, you remember Halloween? Male stripper over here, that's what my costume was. Juliana was actually featured as myself. She dressed up as me in my flamingo shirt here, my pineapple shorts that you've seen a bunch of other videos coming up. So that's a couple things that are from the program. I'm not going to go too in detail because honestly, with the 3 months that I was in the program, I could talk for a whole 3 months about the program. It was just incredible. But so there's actually a video that might be coming out soon. It's a big slideshow from the actual program. It's all about the 3 months on that with my great team. You can check that out. But for now, let's keep going on this journey. Next up, we had a nice road trip for about 9 days. Me, Tristan, and Mitch. Big shout out to those guys. Met them in the program. We went for a nice 9-day trip from the bottom of the South Island, starting in Queenstown, all the way up to Franz Joseph Fox Glacier, two of the biggest glaciers in New Zealand. Actually, wait a minute. No, they are the biggest. And so we went up to the biggest glaciers in New Zealand. That was incredible, seeing just big mountains of ice. Didn't even know really what a glacier was until I actually saw it. It blows your mind. And so we kept on making our way up through some of the biggest cities in the country. Went to Wellington, the capital city. Went to Christchurch, the windiest city. And we went all the way up to Rotorua. Now, why Rotorua? Honestly, I just had myself a gut feeling. It is hard to explain. I was just sitting there and I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to apply for jobs up in Rotorua. No reason for it. Everybody asked me why there. Just sometimes you got to follow your gut. That's how I got here in the first place, to be honest. So once I rocked up to Rotorua, it turned out to be one of the best places that I could have chose to be up here. This is one of the most central spots in the North Island, so I have such a good access to so many different places that I want to adventure up here. Up north, we have the Coromandel that has so many hot beaches, so many hot pools. Never knew what that really was until I went up there. It's like 40-degree water on a beach. You dig yourself a hot tub, and I'm just going to talk about that in another video. Let's keep going.
Alright, so we moved it inside. It's getting dark outside. But while I was out on this little journey, maybe I went partying a little bit, maybe once or twice.
Let's get some box wine in this shit.
Why do you have to?
Yeah. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Okay, I went partying a little bit. I had fun. What can I say? Okay, so now I want to talk about challenges. So coming out here for 6 months, it is kind of like a super vacation, super holiday, but 6 months is a long time. So it has been pretty challenging at points. Couple of big ones were holidays and birthdays. When it was Jack McVitie, Jordan Todd, your birthdays, those were pretty tough because I'm seeing those snap stories and stuff like that. Like, man, I wish I was there, all that, but you just keep looking at, like, what am I doing here? How am I enjoying myself? And just keep yourself busy. So when I come back, we're going to party hard. Don't you worry. But it has gotten challenging, that's for sure. Christmas time was one of the biggest ones there. So for Christmas Eve, I was staying and like living at this one room that the landlord was a Maori, like indigenous person of New Zealand. And so he invited me to stay with their family and go enjoy a Christmas dinner with their family. So we had a nice big hangi, which is a big Maori traditional feast that's all cooked, steam cooked underground food. And so we had one of those nice big feasts, and it was really nice to be part of their big family. Felt amazing just to be accepted by a really nice, loving family in the case where I didn't have my family back home. And I still got to talk to everybody from home. I was on the phone with everybody. That was fantastic to hear, but it was still a challenge. I will give it that, but you push through that. Same thing for New Year's. I've partied with my friends back home. You guys know I get purple face. I get purple everything every single New Year's, and this year is different. But I made so many great friends out here. I continue that tradition. I got myself purple again 4 or 5 years in a row that I just paint myself purple. No reason behind it. Just kind of do it. And just had a great time. So for now, it's all good. Because every single day I can wake up and I know that I'm living like the life that I'm really enjoying. I don't want to live with any kind of regrets. I don't want to live with any fear or any bad thoughts in my head. I want to live in the moment, enjoy what I'm doing now. Eventually, I'm going to come back to Canada. But for now, making the most of every little bit out here. But besides just what I've learned during the program, so many stuff during that really included just learning about life. Honestly, I learned how to apply for jobs. I learned how to make a resume, cover letter. It's completely different out here. They don't have resumes, they have CVs. Most of the world has CVs, just North America has resumes. Who'd have thought until you actually get out there and explore? Same thing for actually figuring out something when you get out there and explore. It's the first time living away from home for me. That's big. That's huge. I've lived in 2 places while I was out here on my own, not including the program. I found myself a room and I found myself a house. That was incredible for me to that's a big milestone for me to jump into. Finding a place to live, and now I'm loving where I'm living. And I met so many people as I was going from place to place. And now I got myself my own personal balcony. Pretty sweet. I got myself my own personal beanbag chair. To me, that is a freaking goal. I love it. Now let's look more on the fun side here. So one of the other things that I learned out here is how to water ski wakeboard. Big thank you to Sam and Ian for teaching me that one. We go out there with our boss's boat, and no idea how to do it at first. Never thought I'd be able to water ski, but yeah, as you can see pretty soon, yeah, I can water ski now. Pretty sweet. And I can even wakeboard. What the heck? That's awesome. Yeah! Now, one thing I didn't really have in that video, because you can't really hear anybody talking, I'm not really saying it too much right here, but one thing I learned in the program from living with a couple other Canadians, I could rock a pretty hard Canadian accent now, eh? It's actually gotten more thick out here. You'd think I would get one of them Kiwi accents, but no. I got one more big Canadian accent. But then one last thing that I'm going to talk about that I learned. There's so many other things, but they drive on the left side over here. Yeah, that was freaky at first. That was really freaky. Definitely thought I was going to crash at first, that's for sure, because you driving on the right side of the road back in North America, it's completely different. And one more thing, I can drive a manual. What? Yes, I can drive a manual. Learned it at work. Pretty sweet. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, I can mountain bike like crazy now. I got myself a $700 mountain bike. It's absolutely been a crazy time. I went on an 84-kilometer mountain bike trip in 2 days. Can you believe that? Holy heck, me and Frankie Varias, we were so tired after 2 days, 84 kilometers on this bike. 14K was up a hill. Craziness. But so just got so many skills with mountain biking. And so that's just a little glimpse of the little things that I've learned through this entire journey out here in New Zealand. The list just goes on. And if you guys have any questions, just give me a message. Honestly, I love hearing from people. Now, just coming up to the end of this, one of the best things I love about New Zealand is the people. That is absolutely my number one thing. The amount of people I met here, like tourists, Kiwis, anybody, honestly, has just been so nice. I'm so grateful for the people that I've met. They've just been so friendly, so talkative, just had so many different adventures themselves that I've been able to talk to them, connect with. It's been fantastic. Right now I have one of the best photographers I've ever met, Sam, and I can't be thankful enough. He's helped me out with this and everything like that. And as you can tell, this is on a YouTube channel, Odd and Beyond Adventures. There's something new that I'm starting to try up. So hey, let's see how it goes. And just made so many different friends. So one thing I got to show, I got this flag, and all over it, it has a bunch of different signatures and messages from all the different people that I met through this time here. Just with all the people that I met on this flag, I got them to sign it. So many people that I still have to get signatures from, and so many people that I'm still going to get to sign it. By the end of this, I want this entire thing to be completely covered, because there's never any stop. One secret I found, people like to talk. Believe it or not. If you can brighten their day, that's one of my goals. I like to brighten other people's days during their lives and stuff like that. Give them a smile as much as they give me a smile in my life. But one thing that really gets me is I want to say a big thank you to everybody back home. You guys are being my biggest support out here. This has been pretty challenging in some parts, so thank you very much. I absolutely love you, and thank you for all the support out here. I can't wait to see you again. Definitely missed the heck out of you, but one day I'm going to come back and I'm going to have loads of stories for you. I actually have this book here. So this is a big journal my one cousin Ruth gave to me, and pretty thick one, eh? It's pretty special to me now. So I recently actually just finished this with the first half of my journey over here. I have 12 months in New Zealand. Could be more, could be less. I'm going with the flow. But I got 180 days of all my adventures every single day in this book. And I'm so excited that I'm just going to keep going with it. And I'm going to have that for life. So just to kind of wrap everything up, thank you everybody for watching. This is my new YouTube channel. And if you guys have any questions, or if you guys have anything to say, honestly, shoot me a message. Clearly I like to talk, so just kind of go for it. I'll talk to you later, alligators.